Hey everyone, today I'm going to cover the Colour Symmetry options in the iOrnament app. I'm going to show you how you can draw with multiple colors with just one stroke. Let's get going. So I have the iOrnament app already open and I have my background already set to white. I'm going to start by working with the top left corner wallpaper symmetry, which is called P1. You can turn the names on again by going into your settings and choose Show Group Name under the gear icon. I just want to cover our color palette before we get started. This color palette comes preset by iOrnament each time you open iOrnament from close. So you'll get your basic colors. So I can show you how I reset my colors because I have my favorite colors and I will change them when I open the app. So this little plus sign is a nice shortcut to your color palette. It opens it up right here. And you can see I tend to like to have my colors all towards one side. I've been shifting them around as I use them. But generally I like to have my turquoise and then my paler blues into some deeper blues. And then over here I go with lime green moving into the oranges and the pale pinks. So that's where I like to have my colors. The colors all have degree numbers. So if you find a color that you really like using in a design, and when you close down your iOrnament and open it up again and it's gone, you can find it by literally just remembering the degree number and going right back to it. So we're going to close that down, and that's the color palette I'm going to work with. I'll just cover my brush settings very quickly here. I do cover some of this in other tutorials, but the saturation I like to have around the 35% mark, and I like my brightness to be down around the 65 to 70%. And I bring my opacity down to usually about 50%. I do that because I like my colors to be a little more muted and I like softness to them. I bring the opacity down because when I'm working with the color symmetries, it also lets me blend the colors nicely. We're going to keep our blurriness down at 0% for this tutorial, and my size of my pen will vary, but I'm usually around the 30 mark to start off with here. So we're going to go in and find the color symmetries. So you go down here to the light bulb and you choose the light bulb and a second menu will pop up. Right here are the color symmetries. So the first one that's always highlighted is the red one, and that is one color. So that's what you're working with most of the time. When you're not working with color symmetries, it's always in this one color mode. Each of these symmetrical wallpapers will give you different options over here. So if I were to move over here, see how it jumped to giving me more options? Some of them have more, some have less, and they all work a little bit differently. So they're a lot of fun to play with once you start to figure them out. So let's go back to this one in the top left, P1, and I'm going to go to the second option here, which has two colors, and you'll see something changed up here. We now have two colors where we had one. So I could choose this blue and it gives me an opposite color. Again, I could choose this pink and it gives me a second color. So what it's going to do is draw with these two colors. The color on with the white circle around it is the color that will be under my Apple Pencil. So I will be drawing with the green, but the symmetry will pick up with the blue. So let's just basically show you how that works. So if I were just to draw a nice little spiral here, see how there was a blue spiral drawn in symmetry. So this symmetrical pattern looks after the shape that you're drawing, and the color symmetry looks after how the colors are going to show up. So I've got a green and a blue, and if I were to choose the next option, which is a 3-color option in this case, it's giving me 3 colors now to work with. And you can see I have kind of a lime color, a turquoise, and a red color. So if I were to hit the garbage can and draw with that, see how the red is the one that has the white around it? That's the one I'll be drawing with. And then the other ones draw in symmetry. So they're following the pattern that is set by the wallpaper, and the colors are following the pattern set by the color symmetry. Now you can, once you've drawn with these colors, you can't change the colors, but you can go in and change the colors beforehand. So what I'll show you here is, let's see the garbage can again. Let's go into our color palette. So the colors are being chosen based on these two options. There's ones that are set opposite each other on the color wheel. and there's ones that are set close to each other on the color wheel. So if I were to choose the close to each other, it jumps to 3 colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. So in this case, I've got 3 blues. If I were to choose opposite colors, it jumps back and sets them equal distance from each other around the color wheel. Now I can change this if I want to. The color with the white circle is the one that's set. So if I move that, everything else moves with it equally. And if I touch on another color, it jumps to it. So let's go back to this one. However, if I want this color to be different, it has a black circle around it, so I can move it independent. I could move it over here to be a deeper green. I could move it over here to be more of an orange color. And same with this pink. I can move it up here, or I could move it down here as well. So see how you have control over what 3 colors you're working with? And the same with these ones. You can also move. The white one won't move. Oh, actually, this white one is the one you're looking at. So that one is the set color, and then these you could move. So you can move them anywhere you want around the wheel. So I'm going to try this multicolored 3, and I'm just going to shift to an orange and maybe down to a bit of a red. So they're turquoise and an orangey and a pink. I like those 3 colors, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw with those. But let's change up our wallpaper to something different. Let's try this one at the far side. This one's called CM. It only has 2 options, so let's see what happens. So see how it has a mirrored line and it's mirroring the shape, but it's mirroring it in the other color. So let's try a different option that has more than that. So this one's pretty good. It gives you 2 options. Let's try something different. As you work through them, you see how they change the options here. So let's try this one because we have 3 different 2-color options. So I'm going to draw in the first one and see how it gives me my turquoise and my blue is what I'm working with. Those colors will stay the same, but they're going to jump around different locations based on which one of these color symmetries I pick. So currently I have the blues are in a line and the turquoises are in a line. When I choose a different color symmetry, it makes the lines go this way. Didn't change where the shapes are. They stay the same. It's the colors that are jumping around. So I also have a third option, and that one staggers them. So that gives me 3 different options. So when you draw a design, you can actually cycle through these color symmetries to see the different looks. And I can go up to the single color and just see the shapes for what they are as well. So you can cycle through those. I had mentioned before about design mode. If I left my drawing there and I jumped to a different wallpaper, you're going to see the shapes jump. So that one didn't jump too bad. But let's say I go to here. See how the shapes get all kind of modeled? You have to stay within the same wallpapers in this case because design mode will not work with color symmetries. So if I were to put that one in the garbage, go back to single color mode, I go back in here. If I were to turn on design mode, my color symmetries disappear. So you have to stay within one wallpaper or within a region if you can figure out which wallpapers work with each other, because otherwise you're going to lose your color symmetries or your shapes are going to get all jumbled up. So working again with, let's try another one. Actually, this is a good one. P3M1, because we have a double and we also have 2 versions of the multi. So let's see here. Let's choose something different. Let's go with an orange and a blue, and we'll just do a nice little flower. So down here, we're going to try what it would look like with the 3 colors. So 3 colors, I get pink, blue, and green. And then a second version of that creates a little bit different. See how the colors jumped? Here we have them all in one. We have a pink, a green, and a blue in one flower. If we do this, we get flowers with blue and pink, and flowers with pink and green, and flowers with blue and green. So it shifts around what the color symmetries are going to do. This one up here, P4, is the only one that has the multicolor, which is 4 colors. So everything else, the multicolors are 3 colors. So let's go in here and let's pick 4 colors that we really like. Actually, I kind of like those ones. Maybe I'll bring this one up a little bit, and this one can be more limey green. There we go. I like those 4 colors. And again, you can draw a fun little spiral, and that's what you get with the blue, and see how they overlap, which is kind of fun. So there's lots of options to work with here. You can change your color palette. You can change which colors you're working on. So let's just see, let's try my favorite one, which is the P6M. So let's just zoom in a little bit here, and I'm going to go with the multicolor, and I'm going to choose the one that's across from each other, but I'm going to choose a lime. Let's go turquoise, lime green, and a little bit of an orange. Okay, so now we're going to draw, and you can see the opacity does some of this, but see when you have the opacity, the colors will blend together. And you can create lots of fun designs there. So let's create something a little different here. So another little trick that I'll just show you in this one, this layer section right here, you can color underneath this if you go down 1 layer. So it's good to have a layer above and a layer underneath, depending on what you want to do. If you want to draw something on top or if you want to draw something underneath. So now, whatever color is on top, that's the color. So see that white ring? That's the color I'm going to be drawing with. So I'm going to choose the green, and I'm going to go right up the center of this. And if I was on the same layer, which is the middle layer, see how it kind of overlaps it disappears, right? So if I go down 1 layer, and then I move it like that, I get to color inside, and see how there's kind of a blending of the colors here because I chose green, but the symmetry line is right down the center, and it gave me the pink, but it blended them because I was overlapping with the size of the pen. So that's a little trick to color underneath your design so that you can color between the lines and not kind of overshadow what you're already doing there. So lots to work with there. Have a lot of fun with that. And you can find me on Instagram doing my daily drawings, or you can also find my tutorials on my blog and on my YouTube channel if you'd like to subscribe. Thanks so much for joining me in this tutorial, and we'll see you next time.